Hey friends, Pastor Paul here with some fun updates, and want to really first start off by looking back at our vision at Hope Community Church North Lakes. We exist to help more people in the north suburbs start and strengthen their relationship with Jesus Christ. And when we talked about vision on January 4th and cast vision for the whole year as a church, we looked at what are we going to do to help people start a relationship with Jesus? What are we going to do to help people strengthen their relationship with Jesus? And I want to take a moment here to reflect on these last few months and say, are we living out our vision? First, with starting. We did our first Invitation Sunday, and actually just as a follow-up, someone I invited to church yesterday asked me for a church card. They're considering coming to church, and so just want to highlight, we're seeing the invitation culture that we've sought to set at Hope North Lakes really take shape. How many Sundays do I see people that you invited to church, checking us out, hearing the gospel, learning more about who we are and what we're about, but more so and more importantly about who God is and what He's about. So just want to acknowledge we are living out our invitation culture and want to keep that going, especially with Easter on the horizon and more people being willing to check out church or go to church on Easter Sunday. Would love to have us continue to invite friends to check out Hope North Lakes, whether they know Jesus yet or not. Secondly, are we having opportunities to strengthen our relationship with Jesus? The big win this spring, of course, is our cohorts, and those have been phenomenal. And just thinking about how fun they are, how much they're helping us grow as we look into the Word together and grow in community as we spend time together. So very, very thankful for those, thankful for the other opportunities we have, and want to highlight a couple steps to help you strengthen your relationship with Jesus Christ. Our first one here that I want to highlight is Together Sunday, coming up on March 29th. We're going to have our Together Sunday service. I was just talking with Monty and mapping out that service, and what a great opportunity to all be together and worship and be reminded of who God is as one group, with kids involved, parents involved, everyone involved. Really excited about that. And in that Sunday, we're going to offer child dedications again. So if you would like to have your child dedicated to God, you want to acknowledge God's claim on their life, God's goodness in giving them life, and our hope in God, that they would come to know Jesus and worship Him in spirit and truth. If you'd like to be a part of that, email me, paul@hopecc.com, and we'll do another round of child dedications here this Together Sunday, and we'll worship together. And then after the service and after a little bit of community time, we're going to have our first ever Easter egg hunt out in the field at Chippewa. We've got bags for kids to pick up eggs. We're going to stuff eggs with tons of good stuff and have just a great time watching the kids run wild and grab Easter eggs. And so really looking forward to that Together Sunday, that chance to worship together and have that child dedication opportunity. Then we have Good Friday, hosted here at Hope Downtown, 6 p.m. and 8 p.m., where we get to worship together and be reminded of even why do we call it good on Good Friday when Jesus dies for our sins, and reflect and worship. Really looking forward to that service here, and would love to have you join. We're going to actually, at the 6 p.m. service, there will be some limited childcare. So parents, if you're interested in coming and having some childcare provided, that's going to be available. And then coming up Easter Sunday, our first Easter at Hope North Lakes. Very pumped about this. We have a free gift for visitors, so keep those invitations going. But we're hoping to do on Easter Sunday baptism. So if you've never considered baptism or you've never been baptized, coming up after one of the services here in March, I will be sharing more about baptism, what it is, how we practice it at Hope, and then we'll gather some interest and put together a class, and we'll pursue doing baptism on Easter Sunday, where we can be reminded not only through praise and worship and the sermon of who God is and what He has done, but through testimony and through watching people declare that they have come to new life in Jesus through this act of baptism. So baptism interest meeting coming up. Would love to have you join for that. That's a great way to strengthen your relationship with Jesus, by making that public declaration of your faith in Him. And then lastly, just for fun, would love to have you jump in our March Madness tournament. You can see the bracket here in the email, but it's going to be a blast. I'm going to give out super weird prizes, and would love to have you jump into that. But all of that to say, I think we're living out our vision as a church. Want to encourage you to consider ways to strengthen your relationship with Jesus. Want to encourage you to consider ways to invite others in on this. And want to say thank you for being a part of this church, and share how much I love you and how thankful I am that we can gather again this Sunday.